What's good in the hood, YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai 71 here, bringing you another video. Today's video is going to be one for Nintendo for E3. So, this was one that I'm going to tell you it's going to probably be a longer video because I have a lot of stuff to talk about because personally I'm a huge Nintendo fan, so there's a lot to talk about. First of all, there was the Nintendo World Championship, which returned after 25 years of not being around since back in 1990, which was a huge deal. So many different things were done. There were so many different games. Some games were new that were even shown up. So, like for example, games like Mario Maker was one that people got to see. That was like the end, which was a huge deal. We got to see John Numbers go up against Cosmo, which was a huge thing. John Numbers won, of course, and he got a trophy which had Mario featured on it and had the Nintendo World Championship stuff on it, as well as a signed 3DS from Shigeru Miyamoto, which is a big deal. Also, Cosmo got one too, and I actually went on Twitter at one point and I actually looked, and he actually tweeted out to people, and I actually got to get a message saying that Cosmo tweeted this out, and I actually got like to respond to I got to like tweet to Cosmo because he like tweeted out the signed 3DS from Shigeru Miyamoto, which was really cool. Really beautiful 3DS. I actually got to see what it looks like. Really nice. Excellent. I mean, Miyamoto is amazing. So, yeah, really cool. It was a great thing. There was a lot of games that were really well known. There were ones that were less well known. There was exciting moments like in Super Metroid, where we got to see that happen. Where I believe I'm trying to remember who won that one. I believe it was Sinister One. Did that really well. There was also the first level of Legend of Zelda. I might be confusing Sinister One for that one, or I might be thinking of the other guy who did really well on the elimination rounds. There was also some YouTubers that were there, such as Andre from Black Nerd Comedy showed up at that. He got to be a judge for the elimination rounds, which was cool. Not the best for him in that regard, but still cool. A bit over the top, and it definitely it was noticeable that, like, though a lot of times if you watch his stuff, he usually fits in pretty well. If you could definitely tell that the judges were kind of like they were supportive of him, but they weren't necessarily like in love with how he was doing things. So yeah, it was cool. In that regard, and there was Aaron from Game Grumps and a number of other YouTubers that were involved in this, and it was just really exciting. Just a lot of fun. The World Championship. There's also Blast Ball, which was shown, which at that time we didn't really know. We just knew it was Blast Ball. We thought it was gonna be like this minor game, but apparently it's part of Metroid Federation, which is a game that's supposed to be coming out for Nintendo 3DS, which is supposed to be a sequel to which is supposed to be another game for Metroid Prime, which is, Metroid Prime hasn't had a sequel in years, so it's a huge deal in that regard. But anyway, let's talk about the digital event. So the digital event started off, and this is one thing that was constantly brought up, was the Muppet versions of certain famous people, such as Iwata, Shigeru Miyamoto, and Reggie. Each of them got Muppet versions of themselves made, which was pretty cool and pretty interesting. Something that most people did not expect. They also had Muppet versions of the Star Fox characters like Fox, Falco, and I want to say Peppy. So yeah, each of those characters got their own looks. Very cool if you're fans of the series. And also in the past they've already had that, which was really cool because, like, they've done puppet versions of the Star Fox characters, but seeing them again in that form, very cool. So speaking of which, Star Fox was shown. Also, Star Fox Zero is the name of the title originally. We really just didn't know. We knew it was going to be a Star Fox game that was going to be coming out. Last year it was announced, but we only really got to see like a small trailer with like a few images, and it was very early in development, and now they're definitely much further, and we should be getting this game, I believe, I want to say holiday time, so it's like, I want to say the second or third week of December. It's not really like confirmed per se. I believe that's about right. So that's not bad. That's actually pretty exciting. I'm definitely looking forward to that game. That was one game that was like, I'm sold. I'm sold on that. I want that. So yeah, and there's a lot of people that really wanted that because Star Fox hasn't had a sequel in years. You know, they had they had the Star Fox 3D a few years ago, but that's just really just like an updated version of the N64 port of Star Fox, so Star Fox 64. So it really wasn't too big of a change. So that's why this is much cooler. They're also partnered with I want to say Platinum Games is helping out with this, which has done a number of other really cool games. So that's a big partnership that's going on. If anyone's curious, people noticed that Slippy was not in the actual trailer. He is in the game though. Actually, a lot of characters are in the game. If you guys watch Treehouse, you would know this. So that's one thing to note is that the Treehouse does mention a lot of things that people don't really know, and it's such a big deal because this year they really tried to cover things that weren't necessarily shown in the digital event, and that's great because a lot of things people thought, oh, where's this character? Where's this thing? It's like, you watch the digital event. I mean, you have to watch the Treehouse as well. So if you watch the Treehouse, you'll know all this stuff, and it's so true because there's so many things that were spoken about in the Treehouse that like you wouldn't know unless you saw it. And Slippy's one of them. Pigma is going to return. A number of characters from Star Fox 2 were supposed to return. It's supposed to, this game overall is meant to represent somewhat of a. It's supposed to have some representation of Star Fox 2, which was never really made ever. It was more or less so a game that they attempted to make and they attempted to port, but they never released it. And there have been ROMs made of the game, but other than that, it's not something that they fully released. But a number of characters from Star Fox 2 are in the game, so like specific characters that were in that game that were never really had an official showing finally got to be put into this game, and we got to, and it was shown in the whole entire gameplay. And there's a lot of really awesome gameplay, a lot of really cool fights. There's different modes of transformation. So like there's the typical mode, there's a landmaster mode, there's like a plane version. There's also like this like smaller unit that's attached to one of them that you can use to like unlock certain things and like act as like a security, act as someone that can crack codes and do all sorts of cool stuff like that. Very, very cool overall. I think that this game should be really fun. At the Treehouse, speaking of which, they actually showed that at E3 there were these special pods made that were meant to look like the ships from Star Fox, which is very cool because you could play the game while sitting in those ships, and it's just like, oh yeah, I'm lounging in a Star Fox ship. Awesome. Like that would be awesome if like someone could just go up and buy them, because believe me when I say, I'm sure if someone sold those online, you would like, I'm sure it would cost thousands of dollars, but I mean it would be so worth it. Like if you're a Star Fox fan, that's the ship you want to be riding in. Like, nice. And that's like a seat as well. I mean, like, yes. I want that. I mean, give it to me, Nintendo. Give it to me. I mean, like, wow. Really cool. There was also Mario Maker shown. Personally, last year, I was not particularly caring that much for Mario Maker. I thought it was going to be an interesting concept. I wasn't really sure it's going to be anything special. Over time, I've begun to really enjoy the concept. There's a lot of things that they covered at the Treehouse which were interesting and really cool. There's also a special amiibo made for that, which is to represent the 30 years of Mario, because this year is supposed to be the 30th anniversary, and this game's supposed to be coming out on September 11th. Which is a big deal, so that's like really, really soon. And I'm definitely gonna get this game. Originally, I was not planning on getting it. Last year, I was like, never. Now, I actually want it. There's a lot of things that I really like about it. There's a lot of amiibo support, which is really great because I have a lot of amiibos myself right now. I have like 20 of them, so I'm like, you know what? I'm sure it'll be fun. And the thing is that even if you don't have any amiibos, or someone that just straight up maybe just bought a Wii U and they said, hey, I want Mario Maker, you don't have to have amiibos to get all the mystery Mario outfits and all that, because a lot of the stages you can actually play, and if the stage includes a certain character's costume, guess what? You can play with it even if you don't have their amiibo. So if you wanted to have 8-bit Link in Mario Maker, as long as someone made a stage that has that, and when they did it, they put in their own Link, you can play it. If someone has that Wii Fit Trainer or some other character, guess what? You can play it. And I'm sure that it supports so many different characters. At E3, they really only showed they only showed like 3 or 4 different characters. They showed like Marth, they showed Link, they showed Wii Fit Trainer, and they showed Luigi. They also showed Isabella's available, so Isabella from Animal Crossing, because Animal Crossing was being shown. And as long as someone puts them in their own stage when they're making the stage, you can use that. Like, it's available to you. So it's a big deal. They also have specific spray animations and sounds for each of them. So like, for example, Link, if you have like the Link amiibo, he will hold up the Triforce in his hands. He'll go da 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 da. You won't hear the noise, but it will be like that iconic like 8-bit da 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 da. Or Wii Fit Trainer with up down, like, and she'll stretch and pose and all that kind of stuff. And Marth has a really cool like shield pose or whatever, which is very cool, and a sword pose. There's just a lot of really cool things overall. So yeah, should be good. It's a little late where I am, so I'm kind of like tired at the same time. But anyway, lots and lots of really cool stuff. I'm trying to think what else there was. Xenoblade Chronicles X was spoken about. Very, very cool game. Definitely something I really wanted. I wanted the original Chronicles, but Xenoblade X should be really fun. I'm really looking forward to that game. I've wanted that game since it was announced last year. So I'm really hoping for a lot of good things in that regard. Woolly World. I actually at first was not caring at all for Woolly World, but now I actually am. I'm actually very happy with Woolly World. I think that Woolly World looks pretty nice. I might get that. I think that seeing all the things they did, I really like Tazuki, or I'm forgetting his name, I believe it was Tazuki, the director who did a lot of the work for Yoshi and all that, on this. I think that a lot of the stuff that a lot of the things that he spoke about really got me interested, and I'm really interested in this game. And I think I might actually pick this up. This is coming out around the time that around the time of my birthday, and it's the 16th that this game is coming out. My birthday is a few days later than that, but and I'll definitely around the time make a video about, my birthday's coming up on such and such date. But regardless, it's definitely a cool game. It's not one that I was originally thinking I would ever get, but now I'm tempted to, because my biggest concern with it was that it was going to be like Kirby Epic Yarn, and I was going to be like, nope, I'm not going to get this because it's going to be Kirby Epic Yarn. It's not. It really isn't going to be like Kirby's Epic Yarn, and that's something that's so great. And the thing is that so many characters are supported in this, and they have specific outfits if you have that amiibo. So like, amiibo support is definitely in play here, which is so great because they do it so well. There was also Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes, which is similar to Four Swords, and so in this case it's tri as in like 3 people. So Triforce, you may think, Triforce, da 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 and all that kind of stuff. It's Triforce, but it's also tri as in 3. So 3 characters are available, and you get to do different things. There's like a big totem aspect of the game, very, very interesting overall. So if you're a big Legend of Zelda fan, definitely something for you. Definitely, big time. There was also other games that were announced. A lot of the smaller developers mentioned their own games, like Yokai, Watch was spoken about. Interesting game, kind of looks similar to like Pokemon or Digimon in a way. If you know either of those series, has a similar feel to that though. Different gameplay style, sort of a combination, sort of like an RPG style gameplay that's a little bit different in regard to the fact that there's like a wheel aspect to it. So it's like you'll use certain units at certain times, and you have to focus on certain things, and you have to. I mean, it's very similar, but at the same time, it's not like they each have. It's not like they have like 4 or 5 different attacks. It's like they have their attack. That's about it. And there's special things that they can do. I already mentioned Metroid Prime Federation Force. There's also Skylanders Superchargers. Now, at first, I really wouldn't have cared less about that. The one thing that made me really excited about was the fact that they showed off hammer slamming Bowser and I'm forgetting Donkey Kong's one, but like there's a Donkey Kong and a Bowser amiibo that's made, which each have very interesting looks and also have interesting vehicles, because this game is meant to also have a vehicle aspect to it rather than just the typical just Skylander monster creatures or whatever. And in this case, they each have specific ones. And the thing is that they tried to be very creative and they tried to create new concepts. So, for example, Bowser has a special form that's known as Magma Bowser, which is pretty cool. And that's something that's very different, because originally they were hoping to do something based on Giga Bowser, which would make sense, but at the same time they thought, no, let's do something. Is that Nintendo was like, no, we're really supportive of you guys. We really want you to do something interesting and different, something that none of us would ever expect, and it works really well. I think that it's really exciting. So overall, though I'm not a big fan of Skylanders, I think the amiibos themselves for Bowser and Donkey Kong look very, very cool. In fact, I don't know which I like better. I think both of them were great in different ways, and I just think it's really cool. There was also I don't remember now. There was Happy Home Designer. That game at first I was less than thrilled about, and that's for Animal Crossing, but I'm okay with it. I might get it. I'm like in between. Like I'm not against, but I'm not for. But I'm not against, but I'm not for. I'm not against, but I'm not for. Like that's how I am. I'm neither for nor against the general concept. I'm also like just staring at my screen right now because I'm a little tired and I'm like a little distracted. What else is there? There was one other game that I'm forgetting right now. Two other things that were spoken about. What was it called? No, there was only one. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, let's talk about that. Actually, 2 other things. So first of all, there was the Fire Emblem Faith series. Cool announcement. If you're a big Fire Emblem fan, definitely something to look into. Interesting gameplay. Some differences from the normal gameplay that some of you might know if you've played other Fire Emblem games in the past, so definitely different in that regard. Also, one thing that was announced prior to E3, but it was announced on the same day as the World Championship, was Ryu, Roy, and Lucas are now in Smash, as well as a number of DLC outfits. I decided to get everything for both the 3DS and the Wii U, so I have them now. They're very cool characters, very different gameplay style. Ryu gets to be represented pretty well overall. Gets to represent his classic fighting moves, as well as some of his more recent moves, such as in Street Fighter 3 and 4. So that's pretty cool. So if you're a Street Fighter fan, definitely you're gonna have an easy time getting used to it. And that's something that they emphasize greatly with with him, is the fact that they want to make him very easily accessible and easy to go by if you are a Street Fighter fan. And if you're not, it's someone that is definitely worth taking up an event and at least trying once or twice. And overall, it should be pretty similar to what you're probably used to on when you normally play Street Fighter 4, for example. 5 is not out, obviously, so yeah. So really cool in that regard. Roy's a really awesome character, different fighting style than Marth. His is a lot more close combat based rather than having a little bit more distance. I mean, Morph doesn't have like super large distance with his attacks, but at the same time, he doesn't have as little distance as Roy does. But Roy also, though he has to always have a lot more close combat attacks, he has the most powerful move apparently in the entire game. It's a big deal. Which attack is that? It's his neutral B. So his charged neutral B. If you charge that all the way up and you manage to hit and you manage to hit someone after it's fully charged, chances are if the person's not dead, they're gonna practically be, because it's pretty hard not to die because it's considered the most powerful move ever. Now, does that mean that Roy is the most powerful character in the entire game? Not necessarily, but he has the most powerful move in the entire game. I mean, at one point, Metroid was the most... I mean, not Metroid. I feel like an idiot when I say that. Samus was the most powerful character in the game. I hate when people say that. Because it's just like... It's like when people call Samus Metroid rather than calling her Samus because they don't know better. And it's just like... Do you know what you're saying? Do you know what you're saying? Samus is not Metroid. Metroids are Metroid. Samus is Samus. Yeah. So overall, lots of fun. Nintendo was huge. Treehouse was so much fun. I watched each day. Wow, that was loud. There was a big stomp in the background. I watched each of the Treehouse days because personally, I am a big Nintendo fan, and I wanted to find all I could about different things. They showed a lot of early art for a number of different things, such as the Skylanders and such as some other things. They also even showed like the early prototype of those Skylanders for Donkey Kong and Bowser, and they also Tazuki, I believe it was, or Kazuki, for Yoshi's World, brought in the original Yoshi yarn figure that was made by the designer who did the art design for it, and really inspired the concept of this yarn-based world, and brought in the original thing that really started the whole entire idea of Woolly World and how and why this game happened, because this game wouldn't have been the same if it weren't for her bringing in that Yoshi yarn figure all the way back when. So very, very cool. A lot of other developers came up. I watched a whole bunch of different things on a number of different sites, and I'll be talking a little bit more about that probably in the next video. Stay tuned next time. Probably tomorrow. We'll be talking about just overall who won and some other stuff related to that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know this video was a little bit longer, much longer than Xbox and much longer than PlayStation. But about the same length as say the Square Enix and what was it again? Square Enix, EA, and I'm like blanking right, and Ubisoft video was. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this all. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the other videos I did on E3. Overall, E3 has been amazing. Lots and lots of fun. Really, really cool thing overall. I know at this point it's pretty much over, and more likely than not, Comic-Con is might have started at this point, or it might be the following week. I don't remember when Comic-Con is supposed to start, and I will be doing plenty of content for that soon enough when that happens, because I definitely want to cover a lot of that as well. Just overall, I want to say thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. So do all the stuff I already said about liking, commenting, all that. And anyway, guys, goodbye.